Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to the Money and More Show. How is everybody this fine day? Beautiful day, beautiful weather, the sun is shining, and we are all smiling. We are in the midst of 2015, and we have a year ahead of us to be successful and be happy and just go forth into the world and spread a little happiness. So today we're going to spread a little tax happiness. My name is Wendy Cassera. I am your hostess of the day. I'm the owner of Taxpectations, where we handle all things taxes, from preparation to tax issues to IRS, and now apparently to the ACA stuff. Not excited about that, by the way. I'm a tax preparer, not an insurance monitor person. Anyhow, you can always find me on my website, www.taxpectations.com. Send me an email, wendy@taxpectations.com. My information is linked at the bottom of the show description, so you can find there. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Google+, everywhere you want to be and everywhere you aren't. I'm really excited because next week I'm going to be on a cruise. I'm kind of really excited about that. Got to figure out the whole going to have a replay of a show next week. So hope you guys like it. I'm going to do the one on budgeting again because a lot of people liked it. I got a lot of questions, and I thought that would be a really, really good one to do over. So if you haven't heard it, you'll get to stay tuned next week. If you have heard it, tell your friends, and everybody can jump on next week. Anyhow, let's do the happy IRS disclaimer. The following statement is in compliance with IRS Circular Number 230. The advice provided on this show is not intended to be used and cannot be used by you or any other person or entity for the purpose of avoiding penalties that may be imposed under the Internal Revenue Code or any appropriate state or local tax law. Further, this advice is not intended to be used and cannot be used by you for the purpose of promoting, marketing, or recommending any tax-related matters addressed within to another party. You are not prohibited from sharing this advice with third parties. Any third party should seek their own advice based on their particular facts and circumstances from an independent tax advisor. I'm getting better at that. It sounds so like monotone, like commercial. I'm thinking, I need to do some voiceover stuff. It reminds me when my kids were little. I was a single mother. I raised 3 children by myself, and I held down 2, sometimes 3 jobs at a time. And I had to do little things to be amused. And one of my favorite things to do, it was awful. Your kids call you at work and they're like bugging you because it's an emergency, and you're like, nobody's dead. Why is this an emergency? And so I would say once in a while I'd answer the phone, and I could never do it because I giggled halfway. But I do I'm sorry, the number you reach has been temporarily disconnected. There is no longer in service. If you feel you've reached this recording in error, please check your number and try your call again. And I always had to laugh because so many times they'd hang up and call back. Sorry. My kids are good kids. I love my children, and these are the little things we find funny, and it's sad. Sad, I know, but that's the way it is. Anyhow, jumping on quotes. Motivational quotes, inspirational quotes. Every week I go looking for quotes, and I think to myself, what is a good quote for the day? And it's hard to choose, so I've decided to do something a little bit differently. Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can do it. And I thought, what else? What else can I do? And I've ran across this little poster thing called 7 Lovely Logics. Some inspirational blog puts this on. And so I thought I would share those because I liked them. And since this is my show and I like them, I can talk about the things I like. So, number 1, make peace with your past so it doesn't spoil your present. Number 2, what others think of you is none of your business. And, that's a hard one to learn for all of us. Other people's perceptions, other people's things, what they think of you, it's none of their business. And most often doesn't have anything to do with you. Isn't that funny? Number 3, time heals almost everything. Give the time. Some time. Number 4, no one is the reason for your happiness except you yourself. Happiness does not come from without, it comes from within. Number 5, don't compare your life with others. You have no idea what their journey is all about. That's a really, really hard one for all of us to understand. Everyone has their story, their life, their pain. You don't know what their journey is. Number 6, stop thinking too much. It's all right not to know all the answers. And boy, that's a hard one, especially for us business owners, right? Service businesses. I'm an accountant. I specialize in taxation, and boy, howdy, if I want to know everything there is to know about taxes, but as the tax laws change 1.5 every single day on average, it's impossible to know everything. So, the greatest man in the world said that the smartest man is not someone who knows everything, but someone who knows where to find the answers and surround themselves with others that do. So, anyways, number 7, my favorite, smile. And it goes on to say, you do not own all the problems in the world. This is not your problem. I like it. So that's what I decided I was going to use as my inspirational quote for the day. Make peace with your past. It doesn't spoil your present. What others think of you is none of your business. Time heals almost everything. So give the time some time. No one is the reason of your happiness except you. Don't compare your life with others because you have no idea about their journey. Stop thinking too much. It's all right not to know all the answers, and smile because you don't own all the problems in the world. The IRS disclaimer thing keeps talking about finding an independent tax advisor. I've been doing some work this week, and getting through to the IRS is becoming quite the quandary for a lot of people, and so I'm working on that. And I had this discussion with a lady, and I thought it was really, really super cool. And I'm going to start really talking about this. The IRS tells you they send out a notice saying unless you have a basic question, don't call because they don't have the answer, which is kind of stupid from the people who are supposed to have all the answers and scare everybody and stuff. So I'm like thinking, they need to create some sort of task force amongst the tax professionals to be the ones that people can go to for answers, right? Like pick some and give them special testing and special privileges so that we can do things like get into the IRS database and be able to figure out what the problems are and fix the problems. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just fix the problems? Anyhow, just a thought, my little ramblings on of the day. Today we are going to talk about the independent contractor versus employees. We talked about audits a little bit last week, and one of the things that the IRS has very, very strongly mentioned is the fact that a lot of audits are triggered because people don't know the difference between an independent contractor and employee. And there's a whole department dedicated to this because what happens is people don't want to pay all the payroll taxes, save themselves money, so they put everybody down as an independent contractor. Now, some of them do it in order to avoid taxes, which, by the way, is tax fraud, and others do it because they don't know the difference. So I thought I would spend a little bit of time today explaining the difference between an independent contractor and employee. Now, the bottom line is if you have employees that are that you have classified as an independent contractor and they are an employee and you do get audited or the labor department comes, that's a lot of fines. It's a lot of fines. It's probation. It's a lot of mess. And in some cases, they even make you go back to, I had one where they made him go back 2 years and pay all the payroll taxes for 2 years at one lump sum. And they couldn't run their business until they had done so. So that's an extreme, but there are all kinds of extremes when it comes to the IRS. So it's very important for you to know. First, independent contractor. The general rule is that if an individual is an independent contractor, that means the business they're doing the work for has the right to control or direct only the result of the work, not what will be done or how it will be done. Okay? This independent contractor then is subject to self-employment tax. Again, if you are an independent contractor, you are self-employed. The independent contractor should set his own hours and work schedule, should be responsible and most usually can or does work for more than one individual or company. So if you are performing services that are controlled by an employer, when it's done, what will be done, how it's done, then you're most probably an employee. This even applies if you're given a little bit of freedom of action, okay? If the employer has a legal right to control the details of how the services are performed, you're probably an employee. So they also have a list. If you go to irs.gov, they have a list of general factors that make a worker an employee, and I'm going to kind of go through some of these to help us to make that determination. And, again, talk to your tax advisor, talk to your accountant, talk to a payroll company, and find out from someone else if you are not sure, because it's better to be safe than sorry. Paying payroll taxes out of your company business, paying wages is a tax deduction in most cases for most every employer. I know it's a little money out of pocket to start with, but we're going to be worried about fines, you're not worried about tax fraud, and you're taking care of your people properly. So let's look at some of these factors. If you're an employee, okay, these workers are all employees, the following factors. You must comply with the employer's work instructions, so you have to do it the way your boss tells you to do it. Most often receive training from the employer or the employer's designee, so somebody trained you how to do the job. Now, all of these factors do not have to be present, so let me go back and say that. If you have most of these factors, you're probably an employee. Again, check with who you deal with your taxes. If you provide services which are an integral part of the employer's business, are you providing services which are personally rendered? Do you hire, pay, or supervise workers for this employer? Do you have an ongoing working relationship with the employer? Do you have must-follow set hours of work? Like if you have to be there every day from 8 to 5, you're probably an employee. You work full-time for the employer. You do your work on the employer's premise. Do you work in a sequence set by the employer? Do you submit regular reports to the employer? Do you receive payments of regular amounts at regular intervals? Do you receive payments for business and travel expenses? Do you rely, speaking English, do you rely on your employer to provide your tools and materials? Do you make a profit or suffer a loss from his services? Do you work for one employer at a time? Do you offer your services to the general public? If you do not offer services to the general public, then you're probably an employee. Can you be fired by the employer? Can you quit at any time without incurring a liability? These are all questions that you need to ask. These are all the answers that you need to come up with so that you can determine whether or not you're an employee or a contractor. Now, if you were sitting around wondering if you were an employer or a contractor and your boss said, no, you're a contractor, then if these questions answered make the determination you're an employee, then you should go up to your boss and say, listen, I think I'm an employee. I need to be put on payroll and have taxes taken out of my wages. It is quite legal for you to go up and request that if you think so. You're helping yourself, you're helping your boss, you're helping not create problems in the future. I did a really short video a couple years ago about this same scenario. Didn't quite give as much information and all, but again, the IRS is really, really clamping down on this. You can find articles all over the internet that talk about the problems that you can run into if you are an employee and you're listed as an independent contractor and vice versa. A lot of people talk about the fact that if you're an independent contractor, you must have a business license or you must have insurance, and in some cases that's correct. In some cases, a lot of times your business license is your Social Security number. Though I strongly suggest everyone get a tax ID number so you're not giving out your Social Security number to people. But if you don't consider yourself in business for yourself and you're only working for the one person and you're working 40, 50 hours a week, yeah, you might want to consider the fact that you're an employee and not a contractor. If you are working exclusive, I think that's a really, really big one. If you're only working for one person and you're working those 40, 50 hours a week, yeah, you're probably an employee. So time to crack down on that. Check it out. You can go to the IRS website and type in what is considered an employee, or you can type in independent contractor. I did independent contractor defined. That worked too. So there's a wonderful question so you can understand the answer that you are seeking, the answers. So you know what? I'm going to go into some more stuff here because I got some really interesting stuff. But I really wanted to bring that up. So if you have any questions, give me a holla. Call my cell phone, email me, Wendy@taxpectations.com. Go on my website. There's a little form you can fill out that will send it directly to my email. Message me on Facebook or Google Plus, LinkedIn, all those places, and we can get together and we can find out, because it's better for you to know now. Fix the problem yourself. And let me tell you that, I'm jumping out on a limb here, but I will tell you that statistics show most often that if you fix a problem before the IRS finds it, your fines, penalties, and issues are usually less than if they have to find it and demand that you follow the law. So fix it now while you can. Move on with your life. Stop stressing out about it, losing sleep, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let's play the happy song because we're going to be happy.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space with the air like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
Because I'm happy. So speaking of happy things, check it out. Check it out. I have to just, go on, do the pat on the back thing, kind of the hang it out, I'm excited thing. I got my notice this morning from the IRS and was able to print out my record of completion for the 2015 annual filing season program. Took the test, passed it, aced it actually. Did pretty well with all those new tax law changes and stuff. So I'm really, really super excited because when they get that website up, that other tab on the website, on the IRS website, I get to be listed, which is kind of cool. But it just was really neat that I took that test and passed it. It was kind of hard, They don't give you like software. Yeah, you like pencil and fortunately, I was allowed a calculator this time. So, when you're attempting to figure out how much is the tax liability for this person and that person based on these and those particular circumstances, it was kind of fun. It was kind of stressful. 3 hours. 3 hours of taking a test about taxes. How many people can say they did that, huh? I can. I know I can. Done it before. I'll do it again. Really excited. And I've decided that 2015 is going to be the year that I become an enrolled agent. I'm going to finish the testing. I'm going to get done. I'm going to do this thing. Let's go forth and do this thing. That's why I'm a room without a roof, because I got all kind of things going on. And I get to do the cruise next week. And you know what I'm going to do on the cruise? I'm going to be teaching people how to live a champagne lifestyle on beer money, just so you know, folks, it can be done. I'm going to start offering a class. I'm going to get a workshop together and do that, because don't we all want to do that? Whatever our champagne lifestyle is, that's what the Money and More show is all about. Whatever your success is, whatever your champagne lifestyle is, I'm going to work with you using your money to live it on your beer money. Okay, next on the list, I found an article. I love articles. National Federation of Independent Businesses did a survey. I love this place. This is really cool. If you're an independent business owner, you really ought to join this thing because they have all kinds of neat information. Lots of neat stuff. So this article is called The 10 Best and Worst States for Small Business Taxes. So if you are thinking about relocating or starting a small business, What states are the best ones to do that in and which ones are the worst ones to do that in? You know, I thought that would be kind of cool to know. Um, this year, small businesses in Wyoming, South Dakota, and Nevada will enjoy the most favorable taxes nationwide because those states levy no corporate or individual income tax. Dun, dun, dun. Nice. Huh? 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 They're at the top of the list. So we're going to give you the 10 best states to own a small business in. Wyoming, number one. South Dakota, Nevada, Alaska, Florida, Washington, Montana, New Hampshire, Utah, and Indiana in that order. So I'm telling you, we all need to go to Wyoming and learn to, dig out the snow in the winter because we can have a business there and make some money. Make some money, honey. So that's the 10 best states. So then we're going to jump down to the 10 worst states. And I'm telling you what, California, New Jersey, New York are ranked as the worst places to own a business due to their complex tax structures with comparatively high rates. That was the definition. Kind of interesting, but yeah. New York is one of the worst because they have so many local. I mean, you can go local. Have you ever done a tax return for Yonkers, New York? No, I don't want to ever do one again. If you live in Yonkers, don't call me. Call someone else. It's really difficult. New York is one of the worst states to live in if you are a small business owner. Next, California. Number 4, Minnesota. Number 5, Rhode Island. 6, Vermont. 7, North Carolina. 8, Wisconsin. 9, Connecticut. And 10, Maryland. Those are the top 10 worst states to live in if you are a small business owner tax-wise. So, yeah, it was a kind of a really neat article. They were talking about the fact that Indiana, because it had abolished its inheritance tax, edged out Texas for one of the top 10. Texas has always been in the top 10 best places to work if you owned a small business. I mean, best place to own a small business. But because Indiana inched just above it, even though Texas has been on the list for 10 years in the top 10. Can you believe that? Yeah, Texas is another place to go. Minnesota got on the list this year of the worst because they passed an individual income tax rate height from 7.85% to 9.85%. 2%, and they retroacted it back to January 2013. Isn't that just yeah. But North Carolina, they say, is going to be out of the running over the next few years because they put together a comprehensive tax reform package. So they're thinking that over the next few years it's going to inch towards the top list. They don't think it'll make it, but they think it's going to inch towards it. So North Carolina may be off the worst list, and so we're wondering who's going to take its place. Who's going to take the place? So there's the top 10 best and worst states for small business taxes. If you're going to own a business, move to Wyoming. You heard it here, folks. You heard it first on the Money and More show. More. I talked about the fact that next week you're going to be hearing a rerun. I'm going to replay the budget show, so you can hear more about the budget and how to work it and make it work for your life. As always, if you go to my website, www.taxpectations.com, TAXPECTATIONS. Do I talk too fast? Some people say I do. Anyhow, if you go to my website and you go to the Resources tab, click on the Resources tab, and on the right-hand side, you're going to see several things. These are forms that I've designed that will help you with your money life. We have a budget sheet. I've got a personal budget sheet there. I think I've got the business budget sheet there. I have the revenue tracking system, a money log sheet, which is very basic, something you can use so that you can spend that 45 days we talked about, putting down every penny you spent so you know where it goes. I also put 2 new forms on the bottom of the list. One is kind of a checklist of all the documents you need to take, and the other one is a checklist of the basic list for business tax deductions. Now, this list has most of them, but those are all generic. They're all general deductions. Again, a business is just as important as a individual to know what the particular facts and circumstances. And, of course, industry specifics. Every industry has specific things to them that other industries don't have that might be considered taxable. So keep that in mind. Go down, download those onto your computer, use them, tell a friend, spread the word, tell everybody you know. I am also looking forward to, for you, those of you who are local, and I'm going to say this, I'm holding on February 13th. It's called the Harmony Circle. It's from Braveheart Women at the Life and Balance Center here in Little River, North Carolina, North Myrtle Beach area. It's like right on the line. Really excited about it. It's going to be a great event. If you decide you want to go, please find me on Facebook or email me and let me put in your RSVP. But I'm also telling this to all those others of you who are not here. They're doing a Harmony Circle worldwide tour. Yes, they're going to be in Germany for my German listeners. They're going to be in Portugal. They're going to be in Africa. I know several places in Africa. But they're all over the United States, and they're doing this tour. And the whole purpose of the tour is collaboration, coming together and saying we're all connected and that we can all help each other if we'll just understand that. I think it's really, really super cool. Really, really awesome stuff. If you need to find one, again, find me on Facebook. I will send you the link. Or go to the Braveheart Women community, global community on Facebook, and they have the attachments there, the link there. And then in April, after tax season is over, the week after tax season is over, thank you, Gina Tremarco. She's giving a From Job to Mob in Chicago, and I am going there to present, to teach other people. We're going to be working on helping people get together their business plans, because if you have a business, you need to have a plan. Kind of really super duper important. So that is some things we're going to be talking about in a future show, some future shows, because it takes more than one show to talk about a plan. So let's get a plan together. At any rate, we're about time up for the day. I hope all of you will take into consideration our 7 lovely logics that we started with at the beginning of the show. And remember what Walt Disney says: if you can dream it, you can do it. Just make a plan and get it done. Let's play a little more happy. How about no. Let's play happy. Happy.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space with the air, like I don't care, baby. By the way, because I'm happy. Clap along.
Figure out how to cut clips out of that song. So I don't have to play the beginning all the time, cut other parts out. I'm going to do that. Work on that. I'm an accountant, not an engineer. Anyhow, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, afternoon, evening, weekend, week, et cetera, and you will hear my pre-recorded voice next week, and then I will be back the week after with some new, great, wonderful information for all of you. And until then, keep smiling. You never know who needs that smile. And if you need any help with your money, your taxes, give me a call. We'll set up an appointment. We can do a consultation, or we can just talk about your money, your finances, your goals for 2015, and how to make it happen for you, because you too can do it. So let's go forward and conquer into 2015. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.